It all begins with a guy clutching his pounding head while people around him shout for help and an ambulance. A panicked coworker calls 911 but doesn't even know the man's name, while our young guy can only think about his mom lying in the hospital. Suddenly, the protagonist jolts awake, completely disoriented, wondering where he is and whether he might have, kicked the bucket. Looking around, he realizes he's sitting on a crowded train surrounded by strangers. Then he spots a sign showing the date and is utterly shocked. He's back in 2013, the year he started college. Freaking out, he quickly grabs his phone to double-check everything. And yep, it really seems like he's traveled back in time. On his screen, there's a message from his parents saying they're proud of him and will find a way to cover his tuition. Determined to change his future, he starts thinking about what to do, but realizes it's already too late to invest in real estate since it's 2013. Desperate, he considers buying a lottery ticket or finding a hot stock to invest in, but his memory is a total blank. He groans about being reborn as a complete loser with zero luck in life. Out of nowhere, the tycoon system appears. It activates, giving him a 100 million spending limit. The protagonist is stunned, wondering what on earth this new system that just appeared actually is. To test it out, he asks a lady for a bottle of mineral water costing 5 yuan. Instantly, his phone vibrates with a system notification. He spent 5 yuan and got 10 yuan back. He jumps up, thrilled with his newfound power. But there's a catch. He only has 1 day to spend the entire 100 million. He steps off the train, realizing he needs to burn through the cash fast, since everything around him is way too cheap to spend that much money quickly. Confidently, he declares that he's not useless and knows exactly how to blow through all this money before the deadline. So, he hops into a taxi and tells the driver to hurry to Jinghai Mall. As they drive, the young man recalls making the same trip countless times in his previous life, always worrying about the taxi fare. He flashes back to a memory of arguing with a cab driver because he couldn't afford to pay. Arriving at the mall, he thinks he's wasting precious time and needs to start spending right away. While walking through the place, he bumps into a beautiful woman distracted by her phone. He immediately apologizes and helps her pick it up, but she's furious when she sees the screen is cracked. The woman, upset that she bought the phone less than 3 days ago, demands that he pay for repairs. Looking at it, he casually comments that it's an old model. The girl glares at him, asking what he means by that. Offended, she accuses him of calling her old. Awkwardly, he tries to clarify that he wasn't talking about her, just the phone, which is already outdated. Uninterested in excuses, the woman insists on 3,000 yuan for the repair or she won't let him go. Hearing the word compensation, the protagonist suddenly lights up, thrilled to finally have an excuse to spend money. He agrees to compensate her, but instead of giving cash, he says he'll buy her a brand new phone and grabs her hand to pull her along. They arrive at the Pure Phone store, where an employee greets them and asks how she can help. He confidently requests 2 of the best iPhones, remembering that it was the legendary model back in 2013. The woman rolls her eyes, saying she's never heard of the brand and that the name sounds lame. She'd rather just take the 3,000 yuan. The salesperson informs them that the total for both phones is 9,998 yuan. The girl is stunned to learn each phone costs nearly 5,000 yuan and is left speechless. Holding the new device, she hesitates, and the protagonist asks if there's a problem. Does she need the same model? Suddenly, she changes her tone completely, smiling as she starts snapping selfies with the new phone, saying it doesn't need to be the same at all. Turning back to the salesperson, the protagonist asks whether they also sell computers and tablets. When the employee starts explaining the products, he waves her off with a grin and tells her to just box everything up. Delighted, the salesperson tallies the total, 27,886 yuan. With his card in hand, he asks her to split the payment into 3 separate transactions. Immediately, the system pings him with cashback notifications for each purchase. Leaving the store, the woman clings to his arm and asks for his number, saying fate must have brought them together. The protagonist politely refuses, calls his mom, and walks away, leaving her fuming behind him. Checking the timer on his phone, He realizes he needs to speed things up. Time waits for no one. Next, he heads to a high-end salon where a stylist promises him a total transformation worthy of a pop star. The stylist offers to give him a full makeover, asking what kind of look he wants. He tries on a white button-up shirt layered over a black tee, creating a cool, modern vibe. For footwear, he picks classic high-top sneakers that perfectly match his outfit. The stylist compliments his great taste, saying his new Prince Charming look will definitely turn heads. After paying, the young man thanks the stylist and leaves, while the stylist smiles proudly at his work. Outside, the protagonist sighs. Despite the cashback, his spending pace is still way too slow to hit the target. So, he decides to check out a luxury watch store, grumbling about the pretentious foreign-sounding brand name. Inside, he's greeted by sharply dressed staff in an elegant, upscale setting. A saleswoman approaches, asking how she can help. He says he's just browsing, and she politely steps back, telling him to call if he needs anything. Suddenly, a large man starts yelling at the saleswoman, furious about the service he received. The young woman bursts into tears, while a coworker comforts her, saying that doesn't give him the right to shout. A security guard shows up, and the angry customer storms out, yelling that the store is trash and he's never coming back. The employee sniffles, saying the man hadn't seemed aggressive before, and she never expected such disgusting behavior. The protagonist walks over and asks to try on a watch. The saleswoman tells him it costs 50,000 yuan. The sleek black watch with gold accents fits his wrist perfectly. Smiling in satisfaction, he decides to take it. He asks the employee to pack it up, leaving her stunned that he's buying something so expensive without hesitation. He then adds that he'll also take the gold watch the rude customer had been trying on earlier. The staff are in complete shock. As he leaves the store, he thinks a multi-million yuan item doesn't really suit someone his age. But he can't deny it feels great to show off a bit. Just then, one of the saleswomen rushes after him, calling his name. She apologizes and shyly asks if she can add him on WeChat. The protagonist is surprised. He's never been offered such personal attention before. Glancing at his phone, he checks his balance. 2.1 million yuan spent so far, and still a long way to go. He remembers how he spent 10 years after college working his butt off, yet never managed to get his own place in Jinghai. With a faint smile, he recalls that the city's most luxurious real estate development is nearby. So, he heads over to Shantuei Legend, known as the most famous and highly sought-after luxury residence in the entire region. At the reception, one broker mentions that a client has arrived, but his colleague complains about being thirsty and refuses to deal with him. The first broker then tells a woman named Chun Shooting to take care of it instead. She introduces herself as a real estate consultant for Shantuei Legend, and the protagonist is instantly impressed by the atmosphere. Smiling, she politely asks how she can help him. Our guy thinks to himself how even a regular saleswoman here looks so beautiful. He tells her that he's there to buy a house, and the consultant kindly offers him a bottle of water. The woman then prepares to give him a brief introduction about the development, and he finds her voice pleasantly soothing. She explains that Shantuei Legend was developed by a major group and asks if he'd like to take a look at the model apartment. The protagonist declines, saying there's no need for that, which leaves the realtor surprised. Pointing to the architectural model, he asks if all the 600 square meter units have already been sold. The consultant replies that they haven't and tells him there are still 2 floors available, the 17th and the 18th. We then see the upper floors of the building. Curious, he asks whether the 18th floor is the penthouse, assuming it must be the most expensive one. The woman confirms that the penthouse indeed has the highest price per square meter, with a total cost of 502.8 million. Without even blinking, the protagonist points to the model and says he'll take the penthouse. The consultant is completely taken aback and asks if he's absolutely sure about that decision. With a confident smirk, the young man hands over his card and tells her to get the paperwork ready because he's paying in full. Speechless, the consultant immediately calls for her manager, while the protagonist quietly calculates how much money he still has left. The system screen displays the cashback received from the multimillion-dollar purchase and his remaining spending limit of $45 million. He then signs the contract using an elegant pen, officially completing the purchase of his new luxury home. The staff congratulates him on his acquisition and for becoming a new owner at Chanchue Homes. With the paperwork all settled, he strolls through the office, looking up with a satisfied smile. Finally, he has a home in Jinghai. Meanwhile, two of Chen Shooting's colleagues gossip about the sale, wondering if she promised him something to close the deal. Manager Wang walks in and scolds them for being jealous and accusing their coworker of shady behavior. Chun thanks her manager, who congratulates her on the sale and advises her to ignore those nasty comments. Another employee hands Chun an envelope on behalf of Mick Shurao, leaving her curious. Then, with a suspicious tone, Manager Wang asks if she already knew that handsome client beforehand. The young woman blushes, clearly surprised by the question, holding the envelope in confusion. She denies it, saying it's the first time she's ever seen him, still trying to process what just happened. The manager remarks that the young man was quite decisive, buying a house without even visiting the property. Smiling, she adds that she thought he was just another rich kid trying to impress her. Turning to the gossiping employees, she gives them a quick lecture, telling them not to judge a book by its cover and to focus on their own sales instead. Lowering her voice, the manager advises Chun to seize this huge opportunity that just fell into her lap, not catching her boss's hint. Confused, Chun asks what kind of opportunity she means. The manager calls her naive and explains that it's a chance to get close to someone powerful and influential. Pulling Chan aside by the arm, she leads her to a more private corner to talk freely. The manager reminds her that the man just bought a multi-million yuan house without hesitation and paid everything up front. In a firm tone, she tells Chun that if she can become his girlfriend, she could marry into a wealthy family. She goes on, saying that the protagonist is young and handsome, so now is the perfect time to make a move. Chun looks hesitant, her face filled with worry. The manager insists, saying that if she had Chen's looks and luck, she would have already taken the chance. Chun then thinks about the tough life of a real estate agent, the long hours and sacrifices made just to secure one sale. With a serious expression, she wonders if she needs to become one of those people to truly succeed in her career. Meanwhile, our protagonist is sitting comfortably on a sofa, calmly scrolling through his phone. Chun finally responds to her manager, saying she's never thought about things like that and simply wants to earn an honest living. The manager smiles and tells her that the choice is hers, ending the conversation with a friendly pat on Chen's shoulder. Approaching the client, Chun hands him the envelope and says the paperwork is ready for review. He calls her by name and says he doesn't need to look at the papers but would like to ask her something else. The realtor grows curious and slightly anxious about his unexpected request, beginning to think he might be interested in her or about to make some kind of personal proposition. Blushing and stuttering a bit, the young woman leans closer and asks what he wants. He then surprises her by asking her to handle the paperwork again, to buy the remaining units on the 17th floor for him. The consultant is completely stunned and asks if he really means he wants to purchase another property. With a confident smile, our protagonist confirms it and asks her to calculate the total cost, saying he'll pay it all at once. In total shock, the realtor takes his card, promising to take care of it right away. In the background, the other brokers watch in disbelief, their jaws practically hitting the floor. He just bought an entire floor. The system shows that he spent 41.7 million, received double that back, and now has only 12 hours left. Our hero reflects that in less than a single day, he's become a multimillionaire, something he never even dreamed of in his previous life. With a satisfied grin, he thinks how all of this feels like a dream come true. Later, the manager tells a colleague that Chen's monthly commission will be 300,000 yuan and congratulates her on the sale. The realtor bows, thanking the protagonist for the business, and hands him the envelope with the documents. Taking it, he smiles charmingly and says, "Let's just say I was impressed by the presentation." As he's about to leave, Chun calls out to him, making him turn around curiously. With a calm expression, he asks what she wants. Blushing slightly, Chun invites him out for a meal as a way to thank him and asks if he's free. MC, looking at her blushing face, felt that just asking him was too much for her. It looked like she was about to faint. Answering in the affirmative, MC said, "All right then. We will have a meal together. But thinking of a meal, it looks too early for a meal now. And I happen to be planning to buy a car. So for now, please come with me." And she joyfully nodded while saying, "Okay, I'll take a quick leave. Just wait for me." She, after arriving in the office, told everything about their arrangement to her boss. The boss lady argued to take the next step. She handed Xiao Chun a packet of protection and advised Xiao Chun to get ready for the date. "She looks pretty and delightful to the eyes." Arrived outside. Calling MC, she said, "Sorry to keep you waiting," and, looking towards her, thought to himself, just taking off her coat and letting her hair down. She actually looks even prettier. Breaking his day-eye state, Xiao Chun asks Mr. N, "Where are we going?" MC, now getting his concentration back, spoke, "What car brand do you like?" She replied, "Mazda Atenza," but she suddenly stopped her joyful celebration, thinking, "Damn, with his level, how could he possibly like the car I have my eyes on?" I asked, "Which brand of car do you like?" He thought, "Mercedes or some luxury car?" "Well," she said, "the new car brand named AI looks quite nice." I smiled and nodded. This brand has just entered the Chinese market. But after a few accidents, it has been branded a scam car. Forget it, let's go straight to Maserati. "Hello, sir." The showroom manager came running. "Which car would you like to drive?" I said directly, "Do you have a car worth around 2 million yuan?" The salesman said enthusiastically, "Sir, this car is equipped with a V6 engine. It delivers a maximum of 600 horsepower. It accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 2.9 seconds. And all its accessories are top-notch." I asked, "Is it in stock?" He smiled. "Yes, sir. The original price was 2 million, but it's currently available for just 1.8 million. If you want, you can take the car immediately." I extended my card. "Swipe the full payment." The system notified, "You spent 1.8 million yuan. You received a 3.6 million yuan cashback. Remaining limit, 200 yuan. Cashback deadline, 10 hours, 1 minute, 25 seconds. Congratulations, Mr. N." The salesman said, "Now you own a Nobel Masera." One beauty among them came closer to me and said, "Mr. N, here's my business card, if you're looking to buy a new car in the future. So, please remember me." And with that, all the other stuff also started giving him their cards. Xiao Chun came over. "Your car will be delivered to the gate shortly. I'll go with you." I nodded. "Okay, Mr. N." She said with a slight laugh, "I'm hungry. Let's have dinner." "Sure. Come on." People standing nearby whispered among themselves, "Is she jealous?" Yes, it seems she's jealous of the very air. MC, seeing the current situation, thought to himself, so, this is what it feels like to have someone fight over you. Then the salesman came running over. "Mr. N, all the formalities are over. Now you can take the car." Xiao Chun asked MC, "If you permit, can I take some pictures?" I smiled. "I don't want to be seen at all. Take it easy," Xiao Chun said, blushing. "Mr. N, please forgive me. Do I look so unfamiliar?" I looked at her closely and said with a smile, "Don't worry. Whether you post photos or anything else, it won't bother me. Everything is fine." "What beautiful photos. Please send me a copy after the shoot." NS nodded. "Let's go eat now." As soon as we arrived at the restaurant, the waiter politely said, "Welcome, sir. Please sit." I gestured, "Yes, please arrange for 2. "Yes, sir," I said. "The dishes will be on the table shortly. This is salmon just arrived from Norway this morning, and this is our special dish, raw Wagyu beef. It tastes absolutely fresh, sir. Please try it." I took another one, but it blew my mind. I'm not used to eating raw food. "Well, I wanted to show you the real taste." Xiao Chun hesitated. "I just said it and you're spending money again. I don't like Japanese food that much." I smiled. "It's okay. I still have 20,000 yuan left to spend. That's the fun of being a boss." After that, they arrived at a Western food restaurant. Waiter Zhu Kakar said, "Sir, please take this soup. It's delicious." I extended the bowl to Xiao Chan. "Take it and eat." She smiled. "Today you've bought me a house and a car." Chan, seeing MC's chill demeanor, said, "Then I would like to toast you too. Thanks for letting me close such a huge deal today." She looked at the wine and Western food. She said, "To be honest, I don't really like Western food that much. I just thought it seemed really high class and fancy, but it is still better than raw Japanese food." She thought about her previous comment for a few minutes after a moment and asked MC, "Was that really dumb of me?" And smilingly mentioned, "Not at all, I have moments like that too. It's hard for people to make choices that go beyond their own experiences. It's perfectly normal to be influenced by people who seem more experienced." He added, "As long as you try more things and experience them for yourself, you'll naturally figure out what you like." MC's new girlfriend called him, "Ha1 and Xian, you don't look that old. But the things you say, they are so profound and make so much sense. Guys, to be honest, if you have money, everything will make sense to the people around you. I'm not saying what MC said was dumb, but if you are rich and smart and you say something smart, it will feel profound to most people." Anyway, back to the story. And Xian told her, "I'm honored to be praised by a beautiful woman." And with that, he starts to add some more food to her plate, but Xiao, just by looking at her expression, you can tell she is looking for something more than food to be in her mouth, something different, a dish unique which can only be served by MC. After the eating part, MC goes to the counter and pays the bill using the card given by the system. "Thank you, system notification. You spent 15,000 yuan. Cashback 30,000 yuan." As soon as we finished eating, Xiao Chan asked, "Mr. N, where are you going to get off?" "I'll drop you off." I smiled and said, "Okay, there's still a small quota left." She curiously asked, "So where now?" I said softly, "Let's go to Chrysanthemum Incense." Okay. We headed upstairs. "Do you have the presidential suite available?" The receptionist smiled and said, "Yes, sir. Of course." The receptionist smiled and said, "Sir, the presidential suite is 40,000 yuan per night. How many nights would you like to book?" I took out my card and said coolly, 5 nights. A total of 50 house runs. The system notification was correct. This is enough to cover the system's cashback. The remaining consumption limit is 0. I turned to Xiao Chan, "Let's go upstairs. Take a visit." As soon as we entered the room, she was startled. "I never thought there would be a pool inside the room. I really feel like swimming." She looked around. "The wine here is also very good. It's a shame you couldn't drink while driving. Now you can relax." I smiled. "Let's drink again." We picked up our glasses. But after a while, she hesitated and said, "I don't want to bother you. I'm leaving." I laughed lightly. "Why so soon? You just said you wanted to swim." "Come, I'll go with you," she blushingly said. "But I don't have a swimsuit, and I'm unlikely to find a car to return." I said softly, "Then stay here, stay this night." She remained silent for a moment. Seeing her silence, MC said, "Okay, I'm getting in the swimming pool first. If you decide to leave, you can leave without telling me." That night, a beautiful night sky, twinkling stars, and as he was looking and admiring the night sky, she approached him from back. She said to him, "And Xian, I'm not going home tonight." And Xian looked dazed just by looking at her breathtaking beauty. And with that, an unexpected approach, they started kissing in the swimming pool. And after that, what was bound to happen between them did happen without any regrets. The system, confirming the success of their intimate activity of the previous night, started ringing. The system notified him. Cashback task completed on time. Rating, excellent, rewards unlocked.